Welcome back to Artifact Insight. Let's look at another ancient Egyptian sandstone relief fragment from the recent Christie's auction. Now, the auction says that this dates to the Amarna period, which took place during the New Kingdom, approximately 1352 to 1336 BCE. But if you guys saw my previous video about the other piece in the Christie's auction from the Amarna period, I honestly would never compare this piece to that one, because this piece looks much more quote-unquote normal ancient Egyptian style, or the more standardized ancient Egyptian style that we would see kind of every day. But there are some small aspects here that I can understand why they would think this is the Amarna period. And it mainly kind of looks at this like elongated jaw and that slightly longer like back of the head. It also has the very almond shaped eyes and the very full and pursed lips. The one thing that is really not talked about as much when you're studying the Amarna period is that the non-royal figures don't always have the same very exaggerated features that are given to typically the royalty, Akhenaten, and his family. There are definitely many examples of non-royals being depicted very similar to some of the royals of this time period, but the exaggeration is always really aimed towards the royals and their family. And that's probably why I didn't immediately recognize this as an Amarna period piece. I even suspected at first that this was a post-Amarna piece, because there are a lot of Amarna aspects that get kind of taken in by the people afterwards, even though they are trying to kind of get rid of the Amarna period and they're not trying to think about it. There are certain tiny art motifs that kind of spread and then are there during the Ramesside period. Now, this piece was originally on the London art market in the 80s, but it seems to have no provenance before that. And that unfortunately is pretty suspicious because anything after the 70s falls into a very tough legal territory of the 1970 UNESCO Convention, which was one of the first international laws to make antiquities trading illegal and punishable by the UN. You can check out my playlist all about that and unfortunately about its faults and how it doesn't really help us to get pieces back to the country of origin. This piece was estimated to sell from between 5,000 to 8,000 British pounds, and unfortunately it seems to have either not been sold or the price is hidden on the Christie's website. I probably believe one of the reasons it may not have sold is because while it dates to the Amarna period, it does not have the typical Amarna period attributes that is very well sought after in the art market, that kind of very unique, very different ancient Egyptian art.